Hi everyone, what's up? What's new? What has everybody been up to? Today we're going to talk about pitching press / getting your business or brands out in the press. They go hand in hand, so I figured that I would talk about both things at the same time. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. I wanted to film with daylight and then it started raining and it's really cloudy outside, so I don't get the light, and I also don't have a ring light, which I need to get soon. But anyway, we're gonna make this happen still, because if we don't make it happen today, I don't know when we're gonna make it happen. As the YouTubers say, let's jump right into this video. Everyone has a different style of pitching, so what I'm gonna say now is just the way that I do it. Some of the tips that I found have worked best for me, and and I just want to share that. So everybody's way of pitching is different. This is just some general advice that I can give you, and I hope you'll take it. I found that they have worked for me and my clients, so hopefully it works for you and your brands, or if you are working with clients, hope that works for you also. First and foremost, one of the most important things about pitching is that you get to know the journalist. So when you're pitching your client or your brand or your company, you want to make sure that you're pitching a journalist that covers what you have to offer. So if you have a beauty brand, you obviously want to make sure that you focus on a journalist that covers that. If you're doing travel, you want to make sure that you pick a journalist. So that's called the journalist beat, which I have spoken about in another video that I created a while back. I'll put the link up here. And a beat is just a focus. So even before you pitch, just like you send out a random pitch, you want to make sure that you have read what the journalist has covered in the past. And that brings me to my next point, is to find something relatable to them. So for example, if they just went to Thailand and your pitch is about a hotel that is expanding in Thailand, you would want to connect that to them somehow. You know, like start off your pitch with, I noticed that you went to Thailand. I feel that this could be something that you might be interested in, seeing as though you've recently traveled to the area and you're probably very familiar with it, or whatever. And whatever way you want to connect that to the journalist, you should do so. My next tip on pitching is to make sure, and this is for email pitching, I'll get to social media pitching later in this video, but for email pitching is to make sure that your subject line is catchy and is trendy and is going to catch their attention, because you want them to open it. Journalists get bombarded with emails every day, so you want to make sure that yours is catchy enough for them to open it. So relate it to something trendy, whether it's summer, whether it's Labor Day, I don't know, National Dog Day, or whatever it is. Just make sure that your main points, so your company, if it's renowned, or maybe somebody that's working with you on a campaign that is well-known, a well-known name, plus like something that's trendy, like why should they cover this, or why should they even open this email. Make sure that your subject line sort of answers all of those questions, because that's going to be the first introduction to who you are and to what your email is about. Something that's really fun is to use like punny subject lines, like a pun would be fun, something that is relatable to the current trends of the moment. Because once you have researched a journalist, once you know what they're going to write about, once you've created a one-liner relatable topic, you know, and something personalized for them, and you have sent them your email, which should be 2 to 3 paragraphs max. I always keep it to 2 paragraphs and then just kind of thank them for their consideration at the end, but I always keep it really short. But you want to make sure that you have your topic, how it's relatable to them, how it's relatable to the publication, and what trends they can connect it with at the moment, and how you are, or the spokesperson or your brand is an expert in this field, or what you have to offer to this field that's something new that they would want to cover. So you always want to think about that, like think about their position, think about how they could pitch this idea to their editor, or if it's the editor, think about why they would want to cover it. Another thing you want to think about is long lead versus digital. I'm sorry if you hear the rain outside. I don't know if you can or if you can't, but I'm sorry if you can. You're pitching the editor of Cosmopolitan for your new summer perfume collection. It wouldn't make sense for you to do that in August, even though we're in summer, or even though you're in summer in August. They're already planning ahead, so they're probably in their like November issue or something. So you want to make sure to look at their media kit and their editorial calendar, and that'll give you a better idea of when they're planning what. That way you can say, okay, so for your fall issue, I noticed you're covering scents of the season. So you can say, you know, like in my perfume brand, this is the scent that I have for you, for your consideration. If you can get in contact with a journalist that's currently at the publication that has written about scents before, or perfumes, or trending topics like that, then that would be awesome, because you could connect your story idea with things that they have covered in the past, so you know that it's a great fit. So that's another thing, long lead versus digital. With digital, you can pitch and it can be turned around in 1-2 days, a couple of hours sometimes. With print, you have to make sure to pitch a couple of months ahead. Another thing is the follow-up. With your follow-up, be respectful of your journalists. Everybody has different tactics, different ways to follow up. The way that I like to follow up, I don't like to follow up multiple times because I don't like for them to feel like I'm stalking them. I know it's sort of part of the PR job. I don't like to do it that way. If I follow up, or when I do follow up, it's to provide journalists with additional information that they can use to supplement the story or with an update to the story. So I don't follow up to just say like, hey, just making sure you got my email. There's very rare times that I do that. Following up that way doesn't really add anything to your story, and it's just not my cup of tea. I know that people have to do it, and I do it sometimes, but I try not to. If I follow up, like I said, it's mostly just to add bits and pieces of information that I didn't include in the email. And I think about that too. Like I think, okay, well, what else can I say to them that they might want to know, just to make sure that they did read the email, but not to explicitly state, you know, making sure you got this email. Another thing I do often is I go on social media and I will, you know, you could tag them on Twitter, you could comment on their photos, you could comment on a photo that relates to what you're pitching. So if you're pitching perfume scents, you could just very subtly, you know, make that connection. But I try to not be so aggressive. I know that in PR people say that you have to be aggressive. I think that you have to maintain your relationships, and I think that's the most important thing, and that requires respect, that you respect the journalists, that you respect their time, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. So with that said, don't be afraid to reach out via social media. They're always on their social media. Everybody's always on it. So whether it's Twitter or Instagram, just don't be afraid to kind of shoot a comment or make sure that they even recognize your name or your email or your brand name. When you're first starting out a relationship and it's via email, that you want to make sure that they can put a face to the person or a face to the brand that they are reading about. So connecting with them or with journalists via Instagram or Twitter is always really, really helpful. Another way to find timely pitches or to pitch your business out is to sign up for HARO. That's Help a Reporter Out. And basically reporters post questions on there. I get sent a daily newsletter, I guess you could call it, from HARO, where reporters have posted questions or topics that they need advice for, or expertise, or a brand that knows, or a spokesperson that knows. So that is you should definitely sign up for that if you're trying to get your business out into the press and don't have PR. If you are a PR agency or a PR account executive, or you want to get into PR, then sign up for that. Not only will you have the opportunity to pitch your clients to reporters that are specifically like looking for what you have to offer, also once you look at the other questions, you'll get inspired to kind of see what story ideas are trending or what people are looking for, and you can always connect that back to your brand or business. So with all that said, I wanted to give you a sample scenario. Today I was looking through Instagram and I saw that Pandora released a Lion King collection, limited edition. So if you were part of the PR team at Pandora, I wanted to give you an idea of how you could pitch the story, or how you could pitch this limited edition collection. This one's pretty easy because, you know, it's just an easy thing to pitch. Definitely, so the subject line should definitely have Pandora, because that's a renowned name and people understand what that brand is and they know what it is. And new, obviously you should definitely have new in the subject line, and of course the Lion King, because that's something that's trendy right now. And so I would have those three things on the subject line in whichever way you want. The pitch hook could be in addition to the relevancy of the Lion King right now, and obviously Pandora. It could also be like Leo season just started. Astrology is something that people are keen to, that they love hearing about and learning about, especially now like with the Instagram memes. So obviously you wouldn't put Leo season as like the header or the main subject or whatever, but you can insert it in there just like as a little story idea or as a pitch hook. Obviously the Lion King and Pandora and like the new limited edition collection sort of sells itself, but if you wanted to be more relevant, you could talk about how Leo season just started, which it did just start. In addition to all of the obvious stories, ideas about the Lion King, like everybody in the cast, about Pandora, how it's been around forever, and this limited edition collection and what it represents. In addition to all of that obvious pitch ideas, you could pitch a journalist that focuses on like lifestyle roundups. You could, which are like lists of things. You could say something like, you know, a jewelry piece for every season featuring this, you know, this new collection. Because connecting it back to what I said before, you're not just approaching them trying to get them to cover your client, but you're also giving them story ideas and different angles that they can use for their audience. So as a PR professional, you have to think about all the different angles. You have to think about how your client would want their product to be shown and how the journalist would want to speak about this product. So it's not just about you, sadly, it's not just about you and your business and your brand, even though it is, but it's also about how they can make that relevant to their audience, and that's the most important thing. So you always have to think about that and keep that in mind, because as a publicist or as a PR professional, you always have to have all of these different hats on and think in all of these different ways. So make sure that you do that. So I hope this video helped you. If you want any more specific questions to be answered about pitching or about any of the things that I mentioned, be sure to comment below. So yeah, if you like content like this, subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, I'll be posting a lot more PR content and slash like what I do in my career. And I know that that's why a lot of you are here, so I'll be posting a lot of that. But I'll also be posting some more lifestyle and more like fun vlogs and things like that. I started this channel for a lot of reasons, and I want to make sure that I hit all of those different subjects in my content. So I'm going to commit, this is gonna be really difficult for me, I'm going to commit to posting two videos every week for the month of August. So I've already planned and I did the whole schedule, because it can be really difficult to do that while having a full-time job. So props to anybody that does that, to be honest. I don't know if the Fun with Swan 3 consecutive videos, I think it's just too complex for even me to execute. So yeah, so I'm excited because I'll be doing 2 videos a week. Hopefully like that'll be feasible and fun, and I'm gonna hope to stick to a publishing schedule, which I will maybe update you on the next video that I make. Wish me luck. I hope you liked this video. I hope to see you back here soon. Thank you for following me. Thanks for coming to hang out. I appreciate it a lot. And I will see you back here next time.